right, game tight, elevate your mind sight. These interviews will ignite your insight. Take notice of the lessons we learned. Why? So you can focus on shining your light bright. We share our greatness and we're courageous. Listen closely because it is contagious. Hit the subscribe. The show's worldwide. Keep an open mind and treasure yourself to shine. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Mind Right Game Tight Show. I'm your host, Michelle Morgan. I'm a transformational sports coach, which means I work with student athletes on the mental mindset of sports and in life. I'm also the author of the Mind Right Game Tight program, which consists of 2 books, How You Thrive in Sports, the book and the workbook, which we combine usually all the life skills that we learn while playing sports and applying those and become aware of those in life. And then the workbook is where we have the exercises because we receive all the knowledge in the book and then we apply that knowledge to the workbook. And that's where the power lies. I am also the founder of the nonprofit Vida es Oro. So for more information, you may go to vidaesoro.org. Also, you can join us live now and ask any questions via YouTube. And if you miss an episode or if you're looking to check out previous episodes, you can also check us out on YouTube at mindrightgametight.com. Also, you can go and use your favorite podcast platform, whether it be Spotify, Apple, or Google form as well. Just type in Mind Right Game Tight. I'm going to go ahead and welcome our guest today. Our guest today is Janet Arias. She's from Watsonville, California. She is currently on the women's basketball team at Santa Barbara City College and is majoring in sociology. After this year, she will continue to play at the next level and further her education to become a social worker or work with people with special needs. So hi, Janet, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you for having me here today.
You're welcome. So before we go ahead and get started, I just want you to introduce yourself and tell us, a little bit about you and how you got introduced to playing basketball and if you played other sports as well.
So since I was young, I've always played soccer. So soccer has always been a thing in my family. But as I got into middle school, there was other sports besides soccer, but it was seasonal. So I decided just to keep myself busy during after school hours. I would just join other sports I've never tried. So like basketball was one in the 6th grade. So, and then soccer, flag football. But then as high school came around, it's basketball and soccer were at the same season. So I had to pick one and I went with basketball and I continued just to, I stopped playing soccer and then I just continued playing basketball. And I'm here now with the opportunity to play for Santa Barbara City College.
So what made you make that decision to go with basketball, even though you had been playing soccer?
So soccer back home, the price of it was really expensive. So when it came to basketball, because basketball in our town is not really a big thing, it's mainly soccer. So the price of basketball, like our coaches, my high school coach kind of made it the price was a price that people like families could pay for. We would do fundraisers, so families are able to pay for it. So that's why basketball, and then also like the community, the people who were part of the basketball team really were welcoming. So I just decided to keep playing basketball.
Gotcha. And so I did some research and looked you up and I saw that you went to Watsonville High School and in your junior year, you had a new coach step in. And that coach, he said he asked you to step up and be a leader. What was that process like for you into having to step up and being a leader? And in which ways did you step up out of your comfort zone as well?
Yeah, so it was completely a new thing. He came in during the summer, so it was new for everybody. We had to find new chemistry with each other. It was my first year playing varsity. I did not play basketball my freshman year. So it was something extremely different. I didn't really know much of the girls on the varsity team. But like for me, I've always been a captain on like other sports or even like a leadership role in activities. So I knew that previous times that I've been a leader, I've always had good feedback saying how I have that role of people always looking up to me, or that I know how to lead people into like how do I say it, like the right path, or making sure they all feel welcomed. So the fact that he put the trust in me to lead such a young team, even my senior year, I'm not sure if you saw, but we're a really young team. The fact that he was able to trust me to continue to have me as a captain for the next 2 years that I was under his coaching, it felt great. It was something different, especially because he didn't know much of me. So for him to be able to trust me that I could take that leadership role, it was amazing.
And what was that experience like for you, like stepping into a team where you don't know anybody? How did you kind of acclimate yourself to get to know all the girls on the team, and, also allow yourself to make yourself feel part of the team as well?
Yeah, so I've always kind of had a hard time to make friends first. So I always was kind of they talked to me first, and then I was very open after. So in my head, I just kind of told myself, if I'm going to take this leadership role, I have to be the first one to get myself out of the comfort zone, and for them to trust me that I'm able to do this leadership role, to be a captain. But it was just to get out of my comfort zone, to get to know others, see what they like, and the way, just to build chemistry and to gain trust on each other. Because, if you don't have trust on each other outside of court, then it's kind of hard to have it on the court.
Mm-hmm. And what are one of those ways that you learn to build trust within a team?
Just we could do like team bonding is a good way to trust each other. Right now, because of COVID and stuff, it's kind of hard to do team bondings, and with like managing school and stuff like that. But we try to like incorporate a lot of team bonding just to get to know each other more little by little, to see their likes and dislikes, or what they enjoy to do outside of besides basketball. Get to know each other little by little.
Gotcha. And when you're like your junior season, I saw that like it was a tough season. And when I say that in terms of like wins and losses, there were more losses than wins. And I've experienced being on teams like that as well. But what did you learn the most from that season?
We learned that although we did have a difficult season, the memories itself did not really affect. It did not let us. We did not let that get to us, for the fact that we could still have fun, although the record was not the best. But we also had to realize that we had to trust the process, because we did have a new coach, and it was a completely new team. We didn't have chemistry, so it was just trusting the process of the next year being a different result.
Is that conversations that you had, because after like playing, and it's like when you lose, it can be like still frustrating, and it's like we're trusting the process. Like, when is the process going to change where we're going to see like the results of that? What were those conversations like? And as a leader, like, how do you continue to stay motivated and keep your teammates motivated as well?
Yeah. So for me, I'm really hard on myself as a player. So it was just kind of trying to have everybody get on the same page and realize, like, although, yeah, we're losing, like, let's just keep fighting no matter what our record is right now. We just have to keep going. And as of trusting the process, for once season was over, we just, especially because it was my senior year, like the upcoming season, I had to tell everybody, like, either we're going to keep going with the same record, or we're going to keep pushing ourselves to get better. And this starts with the summer. So I try to get everybody in, try to, how do I say, like, get on the same level, like same page as me, to not only, because I did have like my senior goal, which was to get the league championship and even going to CCS. But just to get everybody in the gym during the summer, just to get better as a team, was one of my biggest goals, and it was accomplished, which was amazing, because I got to see like them grow as a player as well. So it was just getting everybody just to be on the same page throughout the 2 last years of my high school before COVID hit was just the best part of high school experience.
And by seeing, like, you were able to see your teammates grow, what was one area that you felt like you grew in at that time?
For me, it was mentally, because I'm so hard on myself, like, especially if like I miss a shot, I miss a pass on a turnover. So it was just next play. Mentally, it was just go get a defensive stop, go do something to pay off for the mistake that I'm in my head for. It was just mentally.
Gotcha. And so, like, moving forward, Watsonville is like 230 miles away or 4 hours away, depending on who's driving, from Santa Barbara City College. So was this a school that you had on your radar to attend, or what did that journey look like you in order for you to attend Santa Barbara City College?
Yeah, so I had no idea Santa Barbara City College. For me, when it came to senior year, the process of transferring and continuing to play, it was more like if I had the opportunity to do it, if coaches were reaching out to me, then I would continue. But if not, then I mean, you know, it is what it is. We still have more to life. But I did get a few offers, but to me, I kind of wanted to go away a little bit away from home. So the fact that Santa Barbara, I searched up Santa Barbara because I don't know of Santa Barbara. Like if I didn't search it up before, I didn't know of it, but I did know of Oxnard. So when I saw like the distance and the time management for the drive, I was like, that's not too far, but it's not too close. I think it's a perfect fit for me. And then I got to meet Coach Sandrine and the program, the girls there, like the former players, and it just made me feel like it was going to be home for me. So it was just the environment itself of Santa Barbara and the program with Coach Sandrine was what really pushed me to come out here.
Gotcha. Well, I said yeah to Oxnard because that's where I'm from. So, but going to Santa Barbara, so did Coach Sandrine reach out to you, or did you reach out to her, or how did that communication form in order for you to get there?
So my coach had texted, my coach from high school had talked to me saying that Coach Sandrine had reached out to him. So then I'm in like during lunch hours and I get a text from her and I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, like this is my second offer. I don't know what to do. Like to me, it's just the fact that I got the opportunity to keep playing was just, it made me so happy, especially like Coach Sandrine, because I seen a video of like the former players talking about NTXE and what it's like in the program. And it made me feel, I don't know, it was just so happy. It was overwhelming to just know that I was able to get the experience.
That's exciting that you felt that. And I can see that coming through, like your expressions, even as you retell this story. So that says a lot about, you know, how Coach Sandrine made you feel, and also like her former players and just the things that you saw that they shared with you in terms of videos as to this is like the kind of program that you want to be part of. Did you have any ideas of like the kind of structure or the group or the types of philosophies that you wanted to be part of?
No, there's more. It was just more like if the program was welcoming, the environment felt safe. That's what I was really looking into, like a fit for me. Obviously, in college is different from high school. The expectations are different. So it was just, for me, it was just like to feel welcome and safe. Yeah, it was just, and then like the program, like with the girls, it was just that I was looking into for to continue playing.
And what were there any challenges that you experienced moving from the Central Coast to Santa Barbara?
Yeah, so my first 2 days was kind of hard because my old housemates were already on the team and they were super close. So I think I was a little homesick. But besides those 2 days, I feel like I just settled in good. Like it was like smooth. Because I knew I wanted to move away from home. I just needed to start fresh, a new fresh start. So I think it was just those 2 days. And after that, I just felt like I've lived here for a good while.
So speaking of moving away from home, like what made you so sure, or what did you want to gain from that experience of moving away from home? Because, you know, some people are like, oh yes, I want to get away. And some people are like, I don't. And then some are in the middle playing the fence. Like, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I, you know, don't want to. So what was it about moving away from home? What was that experience that you wanted where you knew that you wanted to move away?
Yeah, so for me, it was more like back home environment. I kind of got tired because our town is super small. So I kind of got tired of seeing the same people. I didn't really want to play and stay at home to play like the same girls I've already played against. So I wanted a complete new experience, meet new people, just start fresh. Just because I'm out here like no idea who lives here, like no idea who's who. I mean, yeah, I've bumped into a few people from back home, but it's not like a lot of people. So it was just basically starting fresh.
Were your parents supportive of it too? Like, you know, saying, yes, I support you in going away from home?
The thing, so there's a funny story.
Tell it. Go ahead and tell it.
So I kind of told my mom a week before I kind of moved out, a week or two before I moved out, that I'm moving out here. And she tried to change my mind, have me go to a different school close to home. And I kind of told her, like, I already signed my lease. So it was my dad. And this was like, I think a month before I moved to Santa Barbara. And I let him know, he said, it's up to you. Your education, whatever you want to do in life, go for it. Go keep chasing your dreams. So then I needed a co-signer. So then I asked my brother, and my brother was kind of shocked because it was really last minute. He's like, why didn't you tell me this? Why are you asking me to be your co-signer now? And I kind of told him, I was like, I just didn't know how to, because as a person, I really don't know how to approach my family members. So when I told my mom, it kind of did make her sad, that fact that I was going to be the first one to leave out from home. But she kind of realized, like, I think it was the right choice for me. I am happy out here, and it's a completely different environment. But it was just the fact that I kind of told her last minute, kind of, you know, had her a little upset. But it was just, to me, it was just funny because, I don't know, it was just last minute things telling my mom.
You did it on purpose, though, right? You waited to the last minute on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, even if you knew 2 months in advance, you still weren't going to tell her 2 months in advance. Yeah. You're just like, I have less time to see that like look on your face of shock. Now, you mentioned you needed a co-signer. So like with your master plan to move down to Santa Barbara, did you like do this all on your own where you were going to look for like your roommates and paying rent? Like, what does that look like when, you know, someone's like moving away to a junior college here in California?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like talking just about Santa Barbara City College with Coach Sandrine, she put a group together of the incoming freshmen who needed housing, and with the returners. So I love that because it helps a lot. And the fact that those former players were very welcoming as well, and like understandable of what I needed in order to live out here and continue playing. Yes, rent is pretty expensive, but there's always a way to find something cheap. And talking about overall college, moving away from home and with rent, it is best to have roommates, but also find roommates that are that you share a lot of similarities with. And as now that I'm a sophomore and finding housing and trying to help those incoming freshmen, I always try my best to reach out to everyone who's interested in playing out here. Because I know it's kind of hard, especially when it comes to financial stuff, to find a good low range of rent. So what I try my best to do is always inform them like the cheapest housing areas, like places that have good management, just in general help them to find, for them to come to this like amazing program, and want them to come here, because it is hard when it comes to financial stuff. But we have Coach Sandrine and Coach Joe Rando who help us, like they give us information about like financial stuff, jobs that we could apply to. They'll always find a way to make it work out here. There's never like, oh, find your own solution. It's always like, if I could help you and find if we could work together, then we're always going to find a solution no matter what.
I like that. And I love how you're so proactive, not only for yourself, but for your teammates and the program as a whole. And it's almost like you're almost like a leasing agent, like where the hot spots are, where to look for rent. You kind of know where to, hey, maybe these personalities, they'll get along, the incoming freshmen, all that stuff. So like you already have like your own system going. And I think that's really awesome that you're already establishing that. So it shows, like you said, you're a leader. This is why you are such a great leader, because you take initiative and you help people and welcome them and, make it feel efficient for them too, coming into like a new part of their life, a new journey for themselves. And with you graduating in spring of 2020, you graduated high school. and then you decided to move to Santa Barbara as a student athlete. What was your mindset going into your freshman year of college? Because we were still in the midst of COVID, and there was a lot of uncertainty as to what athletics was going to look like moving forward, as well as going to school. So how was your mindset going into that year?
Yeah, so for me, COVID did kind of help in a way. Athletically wise, whether we had a season or not, I was still going to come here, because I knew that eventually we were going to get a season. I always had faith that a game or two during COVID year was going to happen, and we got a scrimmage, and I personally think it was like a good experience. It gave me kind of a feel of what the game is like as for speed and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. Like the mindset didn't change. Education wise, when it came to school and not being in person, I was kind of still glad that we didn't have in person, because for me, it was still kind of hard to go to school. And just because of like friendship wise, I was, like I said, I had a hard time making friends because I don't like to go up to people first. So for me, it was like a stress relief, the fact that we didn't have to go in person, because I wouldn't have known anyone. So just COVID year did kind of help me. And then as later on, the numbers started going down with COVID cases, I started settling in, getting to know more people, and just getting back to how like pre-COVID was.
Gotcha. And I have a question in regards to going back to when you were talking about how you told your mom last minute. So I have a question from our YouTube chat, and it's asking, do you have any advice for Latina females in talking to their parents about going away to college? Because, we know sometimes culturally it's like, especially you being a female, right? Like we need you to stay home and be near. So do you have any advice?
Yeah, so I mean, like, because I do come from Mexican culture, it is kind of hard to approach your parents, especially when it comes to like moving out and making your own decisions. But I think just having them like understand that no matter what, whatever you do, like once you go away, you're still gonna do the same thing you did before you moved away. And keeping in touch with your parents is always great, keeping them updated how life is away from home. It just how do I say this? Like, how do I say this? Talk to them in the sense of like, for them to understand that this is what you want. And like, how do I say this? I don't know how to say it. Like, like just having trust in you is what I'm trying to say. To have trust in you, and if not, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just basically having trust in like in your choices. Yeah.
So reassuring them that they raised a great child, and all the values you're going to take with them, take with yourself wherever you go, and to just going back to trusting the process, right? And, seeing how that turns out, and knowing that, this is what you see as best for you, and continuing your education.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I hope I got that out, like as what you were thinking about.
You did. I don't know. It was just kind of hard to just phrase
it. I know it was all in your head at that point. So I hope I got that out correctly for you. And then while living in Santa Barbara, what was something that you experienced on or off the court that has had a huge impact on you?
Okay, for me, it's the coaching staff and our strength and conditioning coach. They've always made me feel welcome, and just the feeling of being away from home and not having your parents or an adult that you can really trust. Just having them always there and supportive, it made me like, it makes me sad. The thought of it, the fact that I'm already gonna graduate next year makes me really sad, because like they're such an amazing people. Like, I don't even know, it makes me want to cry, just the fact that I'm thinking about I'm already going to graduate next year. But I'll just cherish the moments of them always being supportive. But yeah.
Because this is also like I love that, there obviously is something that has a deep emotion connected to the school and just the coaches and the coaching staff. Can you share with us like something that like really impacted you that your coaching staff did, and how that impacted you?
I'm trying to think. It's just kind of hard. Like, impacted me.
Or like a meaningful experience, or it's like, wow, like I really felt listened to or heard or seen or whatever that experience was, that, like you're going to carry that with you, forever. It's something that you continuously think about. And it showed how much they care about you, not just by their words, but by their actions as well.
Okay. So I've had a few hard times because I'm so hard on myself with school and athletically. But for me, it was, oh my God, someone make me cry. But Coach, no, I can't talk about it in there. Hold up. I'm like, it makes me so emotional, but I need a second. But
take your time.
Yeah, so during finals week, it was hard. And oh my God. And I'm very like a person who doesn't like to show emotion, but like it came to the point where I just needed a hug, and Coach Sandrine just like she was able to tell, like she gets to know her players very well, to the point where like just the body language itself, she's able to tell like if something's wrong. So finals week, it was hard, and I just needed a hug, and she just gave me one, and I just started bursting out. And it was just the fact that even outside of basketball, like being like besides being a coach, she's such a like amazing person. So it's just that safety, knowing that being away from home, you could have someone there for you. Yeah, it's just something that it's kind of hard, as you're going away from college, not knowing someone, the trusting is really hard. So that really just had an impact in my life, to trust people. But it was just trusting.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being vulnerable to share that as well. It's beautiful to me that you share that, especially because we both have been coached by Sandrine. But not only that, just to know how we can be impacted by other people. And of course, Sandrine's going to hear this and probably give you another big hug after listening to this. And it's important to show, and like how you're like, you were talking about how your mom saying like, trust me, I like, this is what I need, what's best for me. And look at the positive impact that it's having on you, right? Because sometimes we might not share these stories because they happen in that one moment with the coach. But it's good to know as a loved one, even as if I'm your sibling or a friend or a parent, that I'm so happy that Janet made this decision and she's being surrounded by so much love while we're not near her. So that's definitely a big deal. And I'm so happy that you made that decision and you're surrounded by so much love at Santa Barbara City College.
Thank you.
And so with you, like, I know you mentioned like you're hard on yourself and it was finals. How have you learned now? Are you still hard on yourself? And how do you balance being a student and being an athlete?
Yeah, so I'm still kind of hard on myself. I'm still trying to work on it. But for me, I just expect so much for myself because I am one of the oldest in the family. Like because I have 3 siblings and I'm the oldest out of the girls. And I'm the first one to go to college from my siblings. So it is kind of hard to not be hard on myself, because even in general, like my entire family looks up to me. So it's kind of hard not to be hard on myself. But to balance it, I always tell myself, give myself a break sometimes when it comes to school. Go on a run, work out, or find other hobbies that just keep my mind off of being stressed. Even getting shots up. Practice helps a lot. Yeah, it's just pretty much finding other things besides basketball itself to get your mind off of the stress of school.
And so at some point we're all hard on ourselves. What are some of the things that you're doing to help you not be so hard on yourself?
Well, for me, it's just when it comes especially to basketball itself, and not to be hard on myself, like in games or at practice, just keep telling myself either if I miss a shot, next one's in. If I get a turnover, next play. And just keep telling myself positive thoughts to just keep myself going and to not just let one play affect the next play and the game overall.
And then what about in school? Because from like, it sounds like there may be a lot of pressure because of like, you're the first one, you're the oldest, like you have so many things. And so how do you, allow yourself to take a step back and not be so you're hard on yourself when it comes to school as well?
So for me, it's just trusting myself to know that at the end of the day, once finals week and final grades come, that I'm going to have the best grades. I put the hard work into it. So it's just basically trusting that at the end of the day, no matter how much I be stressed about it, that it's going to pay off.
And what's one thing that you're looking forward to for this upcoming season?
Improvement, just to see like the level of from where I started to when I'm ending. Just to see how I developed over the summer and what the season's gonna look like. I'm so excited. Like it's basically the entire team is returning, so it's just to see us grow. Just makes me happy more. The memories, the coaching memories and stuff. But it's basically just seeing the growth in everyone. That makes me excited for this upcoming season.
And then I know you want to continue playing basketball at the next level as well. So with going into summer, going into your, sophomore year here, what's your focus or what's your mindset in order to continue to see that develop along your journey?
For me personally, it's just still not to be hard on myself, just the mental part of the game. It's just basically not to be hard on myself, just to realize that a coach will not be mad at me as long as I just keep doing my part and just go get a defensive stop, do something that will get us sparked up and get me to the point where I'm like, it's okay, just keep playing, and either the next one is gonna fall or you're gonna get defensive stop, a steal, just anything in a way just to keep like the team going. Just have a positive impact on the court.
That's awesome. I love that because like you said, sometimes, so great that there's offense and there's defense, right? And also like, even if you're a role player, if you're even like a person who's on the bench, but even if like your shot's not falling, like you said, I can go back to defense and create some sort of spark to create momentum there. It's not just looking at something one way, because we need, the person on the court doing things in all different aspects of it. And also, like you said, like even your leadership is important too, right? Not just using your voice, and also how you show up are those different parts that are so great. So I'm glad that you brought that up in terms of like offense and defense, and, not being so hard on yourself, of course. And so I know you're going to be majoring in sociology. And what is the reason that you decided to you want to pursue a career as a social worker and or working with people with special needs?
Yeah, so my middle school year, I met one of my guy friends who was in and out the foster home, and he would jump around from home to home or group homes, and his experiences that he would share with me, and like he would tell me like it's not the best, like having to jump from home to home, just kind of made me want to work in the foster, because I always like I've met a few other foster kids, well, not technically been friends with them, but it was just like acquaintance. So it was just a one-time talk, and they would share personal information, and it was just their life experiences that kind of made me want to go into it, just to help them more, kind of change the system, better the system, because with their personal experiences, it is kind of rough, but it's just to better the system.
Gotcha. And then are you doing like any like volunteering, or like how do you see yourself kind of like learning more as to what that really looks like when you pursue it as a career?
So I've reached out to a few professors when it came to like my sociology classes, and they've offered a few things, and I've been looking into it. I just finished a class that how to relate a lot to like being able to read child's behavior, or like how to approach children with certain behaviors, and she recommended a lot of information about like getting more into this social worker life, because she is a counselor. So you still gotta, even as a social worker, you're supposed to able to kind of know how to approach others differently based on their behaviors. But I'm trying to right now. I'm still looking into finding like internships for like social work, like getting like following the steps of a social worker. Yeah, so it's just basically trying to find a good program. I'm still looking for one right now, but yeah, I'm just looking for an internship.
And like with all the things that you're learning through like your sociology class and even this teacher, is there anything, and you're learning like human behavior, is there anything that you've come across, like you saw something happen, or maybe it's on TV, or maybe it's like right in front of you, where you saw a behavior happen from another person and it was like, oh, this could be this, because this is kind of what we've been learning about on like how people act or, you know, react to certain things?
Yeah, so I just learned about temperament. I never even realized about it until we watched the videos. And then as the class was ending, like we're into finals week, I started I took a step back and kind of realized like, oh wow, I thought I was kind of this temperament, but I'm this kind of temperament. And then I did like my siblings, and then it was just interesting to see like how things that I learned in class, I'm applying it to life, even to the newest things that I was introduced to in class. And it's I don't know, it's cool to see like yourself step back and like apply those things that you didn't think you had in yourself. So taking a step back to see, to learn new things about yourself is like, it's amazing.
So what is temperament then? Like, what does that really mean?
So it's just like the behavior. So whether it's like feisty, so it's like feisty is usually like described as a person who's kind of, has like, how do I explain it? Like not, I wouldn't say necessarily a lot of energy, but like it takes more time to have attention on that person, because they either want like certain, so for example, like a child wants a certain toy because another child picked it up and they just wanted it. You like the way you try to redirect them to another toy so they don't keep fighting about it. It's just the behavioral way of how people like are, how to, like the not the necessarily the reaction, not the attention, not, how do I, oh my, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, see, it's kind of hard to explain it when it comes to being asked, but just the way a person is.
Okay. So you're ready for like your holiday family gatherings when like, you know, your family members are getting into it. You know how to redirect and do all that stuff now. And then what did you learn about your temperament, about yourself?
So it's weird because it changes as you grow. I used to be like a feisty kind of, I had a feisty temperament. So I was kind of always wanting the things that everybody else had, or like if a child, like a kid had Play-Doh, I wanted it. But as I got older, I became more of a warm kind of temperament. And it's more like being kind of like a shy person, having to kind of be pushed into it, not necessarily like pushed to the point where it's pressure, but kind of, introduce me into like the activity. But now I'm kind of, again, like now that I'm in college and it's adult, you have to communicate with others. It changed again, but I still have like characteristics of the other temperaments. So like you just always see yourself keep changing because of having to open new doors, especially in adulthood life. But yeah, the temperament just changes. I mean, you still have from your like childhood and teenage years, but yeah, temperament just changes as it goes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely positive that you're learning all this, because even as a leader, like in a sports team, you're dealing with multiple personalities on a team, your coaches, like everyone you interact with, even the people that you play against, right? They have their own temperaments as well that you can hone in on, and that you're able to apply it to your advantage. So you're being able to utilize that in sports and in life as well. So I have one more question before we go. And I just want you to name something that you're proud of yourself for that happened in the month of May.
Straight A's. Straight A's. Straight A's.
That was easy.
Yeah, straight A's. It was just, oh my God. When I saw the straight A's, call my mom, call my family. Mom, I got straight A's. Call my coach, I got straight A's.
So you were able to exhale.
Yes.
It's about your grades.
God, yes.
That's awesome. Congratulations on doing that. So Janet, I want to thank you for joining us and being on the Mind Right Game Tight show. I am wishing you and your team a fun and healthy season. If there's any social media handles that you like to share with us, if people want to contact you, reach out to you, you can share that right now. It's not that you have to. If you choose not to, it's up to you.
Okay. My Instagram, shout out my Instagram. It's _ Janet with another T, so JANETT 18. So yeah, if you guys want to reach out, go for it. I'm always open. I love to communicate with people as I get comfortable. So if you guys are willing to ask questions, you could always reach out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then one more thing before you leave, you have to finish this sentence. I am grateful for.
I don't even know what to, okay. Just anything in general. Just
I am grateful for. You finish it. Whatever you want.
Okay. I'm grateful for life. Just opportunities. I'm grateful for everything that I've had. All the opportunities I've had in life, I'm grateful for.
Awesome. Thank you, Janet, for being here with us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Mind Right Game Tight Show. Please share this with anybody that you know who may benefit from this, a student athlete, or even if they're not, because we did touch on different topics that are not related to sports. You can also check us out on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Apple, Google, or Spotify. And then you could always check us out on YouTube at mindrightgametight.com. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Treasure yourself and shine.
Thank you, Michelle.